Here we are going to look at another great illustration of the transitions in the stability and posture, and particularly the activation of the toes and the coordinations that rise from the toes towards the rest of the limb and how much it helps. On the left we see the video before, right? So, and that's where we have this beginning of the transition. First, we see the swing of the left leg and the weight bearing is on the right. Then the left leg takes the load and the right one does the transition backwards. So, and that will be the total move, which then followed by the swing of the left and the secondary adjustment of the right. So let's see now how these moves are executed in the new style. So first of all, right away we can see that the overall posture is a lot more stable. So the legs are much more in one line. And what you're also observing, the movements are becoming much more economical and much more precise, right? Instead of this big swing which engaged the arms and the total drag of the leg, now we see the preliminary rotation of the torso. But this preliminary rotation of the torso, if we zoom in, what we are actually seeing, we are seeing that it's closely associated with the very precise activity of the toes. So that's really what we are looking for. We are looking for this economical activity, not the big moves. Because you see, last year we didn't see so much of the toes. The toes were a lot more passive, and now the toes are a lot more active. So as the toes are a lot more active, so does the overall transition also and the coordination at the top. And last year it was a lot less precise. So that's first very obvious observation that we can see here. And that's the value of the coordination changes. So now let's zoom in and get a bit more and get the flow of the movement. So the flow of the movement looks like this. So first it's a preparation, and then you see the right leg takes the load. Here the right leg took the load temporarily, then there was a necessity to get a kind of stop-gap transition so that the left leg would take it and then the right one would shift in a very unstable fashion again. Now we can see that the total sequence of the load transfer on the right leg is much improved, and at the same time the way of passing the load or passing the coordination from one leg to another is also working much quicker. So last year, this same transition translated into the very wide stance and the necessity to get into this big also tilt of the body forwards and the additional help with the arms. And now you can see this is a lot more economical and again very obvious change of the activity of the toes. Look at that, the new one, and that's the old one. So the control is significantly poorer, and now look at the way, like how much the toes were getting activated, well, how little should I say, were activated on the right leg in particular last year, and how much we have this control now. So that's another very obvious transition. And it's also very interesting to compare what was happening last year when the foot on the right side would go as high as it is now, right? So now we really see that's a clean rotational movement with solid maintenance of the control. And last year when it was going that high, our friend was just falling backwards. So that's a very, very obvious change of the overall stability and the control and the flow of movements altogether.